What's up, everybody? It's Brian from the Exact IT Solutions YouTube channel. Welcome to another video where we help educate you about cybersecurity and what you can do to start protecting yourself. So today's video, I'm going to talk about this hacking group known as FIN7. The reason I want to talk about them is because this group really highlights and illustrates the gap that is growing between cyber criminals and the good people on the other side, the business people, governments, schools, all the people out there that you hear about getting hacked. It's getting scary, folks. We're in trouble, and you need to listen to this video. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so we have this FIN7 group, and they've been around for a long time. Honestly, they're one of the most prolific hacking groups out there, but they're changing up their tactics, and this is why I wanted to look at this group, talk about them, and highlight what they're doing so you can start to understand what's coming on the horizon and what you're going to start to have to do to protect yourself, whether it's going to come from regulation, whether it's going to come from your cyber insurance company telling you that you're not going to have cyber insurance unless you do X, Y, and Z. You're probably already seeing a lot about MFA in your language. We have a lot of companies calling our company to get help with just MFA because that's what their cyber insurance policy is telling them that they need to do. But unfortunately, MFA is not the only thing that you should be doing. There are lots of things that you need to be doing correctly in order to fend off the threat from these cyber criminals like FIN7. So what I'm going to educate you on today is what this group has been up to, how they've been kind of retooling, and what you need to start doing to prepare for these groups who are now kind of ratcheting up what they can do in this war against cyber criminals and against your own businesses. So the FIN7 group, number one, they primarily have focused on business email compromise and point of sale system compromise because their main goal was to steal information, steal credit card data, steal financial information for the most part. And you're talking about a group that's been around probably close to a decade now, I would think. And I'll link to an article that I found that I was reading that kind of brought me onto this. I'll link that down in the description. But remember, help me out, like and subscribe to the channel as I bring you this information. It helps other people find this stuff when you like our content. And subscribe to the channel because when I put out videos, you're going to want to know this stuff. So what we're going to talk about here is, the group has been tied to ransomware groups. They've been tied to REvil. I think they've been tied to dark matter and things like that. And they are changing their tactics now. They're improving their tactics. And what we're seeing is we're seeing them put technology together, malware, that is chock full of ways that they can maintain their access or regain it if they lose it, which is really scary if you're a cyber defender or if you're somebody who has a business and does nothing at all, because a big gap that your business probably has right now is the fact that you have no way of telling or knowing whether one of these threat actors is in your network and lurking around, spying around, looking for information, looking for ways that they can attack. This is what they do. And what we're seeing is what has happened in the past is they create a vector, a way for them to get in. And then once they're in, they're kind of looking around to figure out, hey, where else can I go, or how can I deploy ransomware? And what this group is kind of doing now is they're putting other tools in place. So if you find them in your network and kick them out or remove the one vector that they use to get in, they already set up 3 or 4 more backdoors and other ways that they can get in. And one of the things that they're doing is they're putting tools together in their tool set that they put on your network once they're in there to discover all the different ways that they can make you more vulnerable, use things that you're running, or collect data, passwords, and things like that on your employees. All of these are being built in a tool that they're downloading. Quite frankly, the way that they're getting onto your network and the way that they're downloading it is quite slick too, because they're using a Java-based program that's very lightweight and very easy to get onto a system and very difficult to detect. And then things are brought into the network and downloaded over time, which makes it harder to detect. And then these tools are maybe sit there dormantly and don't do anything until they need them, which is harder to detect. And then on top of that, they're building self-destruct mechanisms. So when they think they're caught, it's quickly able to remove itself and obfuscate itself, or attempt to obfuscate itself from anybody finding that they were there or finding their ways in or what have you. So these hackers are not stopping where they are today, folks. They're building bigger, better, more slick tools, more tools that are harder to find, are harder to track, are harder to look into after the fact. And this is why you can't just look at cybersecurity as, okay, we'll just do the next thing that our cyber insurance company tells us to do, because the flavor of the month right now, or the flavor of the year, is multi-factor authentication, which you probably should have been doing like 5 years ago. Most companies are getting on board with that now. And where you really need to be in your business and how you prevent groups like FIN7 from ruining your day and your business is you put these detection mechanisms in place, right? There can be a lot of different ways that you do detection. You can look for anomalies in a lot of different ways. You can do threat hunting in a lot of different ways. You can check out what things are doing on the computers and investigate and analyze those things and make sure that they're legitimate things that are running in your environment and not something that a group like FIN7 put on into your network. But businesses need to get to the point where they're following a framework. And if you follow the NIST cybersecurity framework, one of the sections in that framework is the detection. How are you going to detect, right? And then when you do detect, the next one is how are you going to respond? And not a lot of people, not a lot of businesses are aware of this, all the things that are involved. That's why I urge you to call a cybersecurity professional and get this stuff taken care of as soon as possible. This is urgent stuff, folks. Businesses are going to get hacked throughout 2022 and into 2023. It's not going to get easier, and it's not going to get any prettier. It's going to get uglier. These attacks are going to start happening to small businesses more and more and more as they realize that they can make money there. Right now, it's easy for them to make money off of major companies and get paid millions of dollars. But these guys are refining their processes, and they're coming after the middle market, and they're coming after the small businesses. It might not seem as prevalent to you right now, and you might not have been affected, and you might not know somebody who was attacked, but I guarantee you by the end of this year you will. So let's get these things in place. Talk to a cybersecurity professional about getting a framework put in place, because that's truly the only way you're going to stop this. Putting your password manager on, putting your multi-factor authentication on, yes, that's part of it, but these aren't the only things you should be doing. So I'll see you in the next video. Drop some comments, and remember, you can get a free copy of my book. The link's down below in the description. I'll see you in the next video.